if you would not put it in your listing presentation, don't post it on social, because your social media is your online resume. And we've heard that so many different times before, but I go on some of these agents' social media pages, and look, this is just my opinion, right? I wouldn't put my photo of me half dressed or doing a beer stand, beer keg stand, whatever you call it, on my listing presentation when I'm competing against 3, 4, 5 other professionals. I wouldn't do that.
Hello. Test. I am so excited. This is long overdue. So Gabe Mendez, so good to see you on here. It's been such a joy to just watch your journey over this last year. We met on Clubhouse. Thank you for being here.
Clubhouse brought us together. Is that app still around?
It is still around.
It is?
Clubhouse is still around.
Such a long time. I remember like Q4 of last year is when it blew up, and then Q1, and it was like the app to just get yourself exposed, collaborate with a lot of people you normally couldn't collaborate with. That app was actually really cool back then. If it's still around, that's awesome. But I know for a moment it was addicting. I mean, I was on it all the time, like on the treadmill, at the gym, listening. I've had FOMO, like if I got out of the room, like what did I miss? And then all these billionaires and just business owners across the world that were jumping on it. It was awesome.
It was such an amazing app, yes, in the beginning. And I jump on from time to time, and it's not the same anymore. But I'm still grateful for all of the amazing connections that I made on Clubhouse in the beginning, and you were one of them. In Melissa's room, I believe, is where we got to. And still, there's a lot of real estate professionals. So, for all the participants on here and all the people that are watching us on LabCoatAgents, I want to thank you for joining us. I have had the privilege of traveling the country and meeting so many real estate professionals. And I'm always looking for talent to bring to the stage, to bring to our community, because just like we were just talking a minute ago with Jake, I'm such a collaborative person. I love just watching people succeed and watching people win. And however I can get underneath anybody and support anybody, I always love the opportunity to do that. And so Gabe very quickly was just such a magnetic personality. And I really, really enjoyed watching him. And it actually wasn't until recently that I learned, like, he's a big YouTube person. For those of you that don't know, Gabe Mendez is a realtor out of San Diego. He hasn't been a realtor very long, actually. He's relatively new to the game, and he just came out and crushed it. And I'm excited to kind of unfold his story so he can share some of the things that he did as he grew in this business. Him and his team just hit 100 sales for the year. But I think the coolest thing that I liked, because I'm such a girl power kind of thing, is that he has an all girls team, which was like so crazy. Cause you see this handsome guy that's like super, and then he's like followed by all these gorgeous women. You're like, what's going on? I'm so confused right now. But Gabe, you're such a complex and just amazing character in person, and so multifaceted. And I'm so excited to share your story with the LCA community and draw out all the amazing things that helped you win, helped you succeed. So first question number one is, how many years have you been in the business now?
I've been in the business now. This is, technically licensed since 2013, but I didn't start until full-time May of 2015. So this May will be 7 years.
Okay, so a little bit of time under your belt. For some reason, I thought you were closer to like 4 years. Okay, cool. And so talk to me a little bit about how you integrated social media into, like, when did you really start being intentional with social media? And tell me a little bit about your story, because your social media journey started when you were vlogging with your family. And am I correct?
Yeah. So that's when it really took off for us, was when we started vlogging everything, uploading it to YouTube. We had our engagement video go viral, and that wasn't like, so back then viral was like 5 million, 7 million. Right now you're doing that everyone does it kind of often. But back then when we uploaded it on Facebook, it ended up getting its first 1 million views within like 3 days. And then Facebook took it down because of the copyright infringement with the song that we had. So we took it over to YouTube, and YouTube let us do it. And then now the video has close to like 9 million worldwide views. Our channel exploded after that. People wanted to watch us more. So we started doing more of the challenges, the pranks, the family vacations. And I kept YouTube to that only. I wanted to keep it separate. So I didn't invite the real estate life into the YouTube space because that was a different audience. But they followed us over to Instagram, and I would take my YouTube family or audience and I'd push them to Instagram. And I do the same thing on Instagram as I was growing that. And what YouTube allowed me to do was allowed me to go onto Instagram and express myself more openly. That combined with some training though, some coaching. So I did receive some training at that time while I was vlogging from someone named Billy Jean. This dude's a beast, such an awesome guy. But I learned a lot of what I did in real estate through him and my vlogging experience. So I put them together, and Instagram started to take off. I took my Instagram traffic and I promoted my YouTube channel. So they started cross traveling, I guess you'd call it, to both spaces. And then I would try my best to take both of those audiences to Facebook, but they didn't move over as easily. But between YouTube and Instagram, those two worked out really, really well. So I think right now on YouTube, we're at 75,000 subscribers. And then on Instagram, I think I'm at 140,000 followers, which has been awesome over the last like few years to build up.
And so let's go back to the coaching. Okay. Cause I always pull out of people's journey what they gloss over. I'm like, wait a minute, but that's the nugget, right? So talk to me about when you were starting to share your family life. And what I have to say for the audience that hasn't watched this is that Gabe is very vulnerable on YouTube. Now, vulnerability, so just tip for video and real estate, vulnerability and authenticity is something that you really can't fake unless you're a really good actor. But people feel that it's the energy that transmits over video, right? And people find that to be very admirable and courageous when people can be vulnerable. And I'm always very surprised by that, because I'm just like kind of naturally this is me. Oh, well, I'll take it or leave it. Like, I really don't care. So I don't know how to be anything else. I think for a while, I've always felt like I needed to be more private because I was always like, share all my business, but people find it to be very courageous. And so they admire that about you, and especially for men, because men have a harder time being open, vulnerable, and emotional. So I think that you captivate the audience because whether you're acting or whether you're authentic, I don't know, but you really convey this like soft part of you over video that I think people are really captivated by. And would you say that helped you on video? And the coaching you received, tell me about what kind of coaching that was and whether it was related to that or related to real estate.
So again, big shout out to my boy, Billy Jean. He's from San Diego, born and raised. And I saw one of his ads one day and it caught my attention. And I'm the kind of guy that if you can capture my attention or if you can convince me, then it must be really good. Because I'm a huge skeptic, and I see a bunch of ads. Everyone says they can do it, but
nothing hooks you. Nothing hooks you.
Yeah, nothing hooks me, man. But this guy did it, and I signed up for his coaching. And the biggest thing that I took away from him was, well, number one, everything in that thing was amazing. He taught us how to write ad copy. He taught us how to present on video. He taught us how to structure a video. He taught us the types of content to deliver.
Is he a bald guy?
Bald dude, yeah, black dude, bald dude.
Yes, funny. I think I have him on Facebook.
I was gonna say you have to have him. Like you would have to know him. Like everybody.
But I've always been so curious. Like, what does he do? So I see him like super flashy, but I have no idea what he does. I'm like,
okay, yeah, this guy's super flashy. He's super flashy. He has a black Lambo on the license plate.
Yes. Like, I was like,
I'm black on the license plate.
What does he sell? Like, I'm so confused. Okay, got it. I'm connecting the dots.
Dude, solid, man. So I took his coaching program for like 2 or 3 years. I invested a lot of money into it, but it was like the cornerstone. Copywriting, structuring videos, how to present, the types of content to deliver, how to make hooks, how to write your, so when copywriting, not just so the entire copy is important, but also how to write the first sentence, how to capture someone's attention, the different types of ways to capture attention. He talked about the thumbnails, the videos. Like this dude was, I mean, this guy's a GOAT. He is solid. So shout out to Billy Jean. He's amazing. You guys need to go check him out. And then I want to actually piece of this video so I can tag him on Instagram, because he's been a huge cornerstone, man. And this guy he's awesome and he has a big heart. So that's what he taught us back then. So I took a lot of that. Plus I also come from the multi-level marketing background. I have multi-industry. So I was in that for about 3 years, and I used to sell shakes. So have you heard of like Herbalife? Yeah. So I was like in a company called Body by Vi, and I was there for 3 years, built up the business. And they were teaching us how to take like before and after photos of our clients, and then we'd post them onto social media. So if you scroll back all 3,000 posts on my Instagram, you'll see a bunch of the guys and girls that I used to coach on how to lose weight and, you know, build like muscle and things like that. And but I didn't know anything about fitness, bro. I just knew how to sell. So I put the before and after photos, and then I took that concept and I took it back over to real estate. So I'm like, well, I don't have any before and after photos, but I do have clients who are selling and buying houses. So I know how to market. So it's just a different medium. So I took the multi-level marketing industry plus what I learned from Billy Jean, and I started implementing that with social media back in 2016. 2015, I actually built the business through door knocking and cold calling and open houses. So there was no social media involved in 2015, but when I started getting the business, I leveraged it onto social media, and that allowed me to mass market.
Right. And for those that are just watching, because I know we kind of like tripped over our intro and stuff. We are talking with Gabe Mendez. He is an amazing realtor out of San Diego, California. We met on Clubhouse. I think that's when this started, our Facebook Live. And I am so excited. For those of you that may or may not know me, I'm Vanessa Noble out of Anchorage, Alaska. So I sell real estate here, but I travel the country building real estate teams. And I ran into great, amazing people like Gabe Mendez that just really have that magic, right? And we're all looking for that magic. And so we're talking to him about his journey in real estate. He started in 2015 selling, licensed since 2013. But he has how many YouTubes?
I don't know if that's my internet or yours.
Subscribers now? 100 and okay.
Yeah.
No, viewers. Yeah, how many viewers?
Yeah. So what's up, everyone? My name is Gabe Mendez. I'm out in San Diego, and I'm also a real estate agent. And I do a lot of vlogging with family, do some coaching on the side, and heavily involved in the ministry. So a lot of work that we're doing over here in San Diego. So come follow me on Instagram, check out the journey. But on YouTube, there's a little over I think it's like 70, 80,000 subscribers, but our video, just so all of you guys who are out there watching, the video that really took off for us was our engagement video. So I asked my girlfriend at the time to marry me, and I had a camera crew follow us. And it was honestly just supposed to be for us, but we posted it onto Facebook. It ended up going viral. We put it on YouTube, ended up with like 8, 9, 10 million views it has right now across the world. So that pushed us into this like influencer, I guess, whatever you want to call it.
Space,
yeah, the influencer YouTuber space.
And so, but the subscribers that you have are how many?
Somewhere between 70 and 80,000.
Trying to get your stats.
Somewhere between 70 and 80,000. I believe it's like 74.
And you have 140 something thousand Instagram followers.
140,000 Instagram followers.
And so this is pushed into your Instagram, and now you have figured out how to just use social media more intentionally after your coaching. And so how many deals were you closing, and where do you believe that you intentionally started to systematically drive traffic from both mediums, both Instagram and YouTube? And what was your methodology? Like, what did you apply?
So for everyone who's just jumping on board with us right now, I definitely want to set the proper, set some proper context. So with social media now, it is a majority of my business, Vanessa. It is last year we did 100 sides. And out of those 100 that we did, 70% of our business came from Instagram and Facebook. I'd say a smaller portion came from YouTube, but those were the two biggest platforms for us. And that was a lot. I mean, every day we were averaging last year 5 to 8 inquiries per day on buying and selling. I think I did 26 listings last year. So it was a lot of business that came from social media. But that was after building the business boots to the ground. So I was door knocking, I was calling, and I held open houses the first 9 months of my career. That's what got me the listings. Then I leveraged the listings on social media and I blew up that way. And being very intentional about controlling the narrative on social media. So one of the things that I noticed with a lot of real estate agents out there, so if you're listening, this is some real good gold I'm going to give you. If you would not put it in your listing presentation, don't post it on social, because your social media is your online resume. And we've heard that so many different times before, but I go on some of these agents' social media pages, and look, this is just my opinion, right? I wouldn't put my photo of me half dressed or doing a beer stand, beer keg stand, whatever you call it, on my listing presentation when I'm competing against 3, 4, 5 other professionals. I wouldn't do that. And so if you wouldn't do that, then why would you post that on social so that everyone else can see? Because that's, if you're wanting to get business from social media, then that's what you're going to attract. If you want the luxury market, then you post more luxury. If you want more first-time home buyers, and you talk more about first-time home buyer products, and if you want those type of clients, then post that kind of thing, that lifestyle that you're looking for. And I learned that really early on. So we started building this huge audience online. And I quickly realized through the training and coaching, right, you have to be constantly coached. I was realizing that we had to control the narrative. What did we want our audience to think of us, see, believe in us? And then that was the type of content that we put out there. We didn't want them thinking one way, so we posted a certain way. And then our ad copy, the way we wrote things. And, it's initially we were breaking some bad habits. Initially, it wasn't us, but we knew who we wanted to grow into. So it wasn't about us, so like, let's say, for example, I was really immature back then, and I didn't know how to speak, or I didn't know how to communicate. I was really immature. I did a lot of silly things, and I didn't want to be portrayed that way anymore. I wanted to be portrayed as a professional that could really do business with anyone, from someone who's 18, who's looking to buy their first property, all the way to like 75, and someone who's buying like multiple homes. I wanted to be that guy. So I knew I had to stop being this immature, silly guy on social media, which, by the way, if you go back on my Instagram, you can see all the stupid shit I was doing before. And you scroll the other dumb shit. I kept it on there. I kept everything on there.
You're like, so we can see your evolution.
I love that, man. Isn't that so? That's such a cool part about social media, is you get to document the process, and you get to go back into time and see that. So I kept all of it.
Now, your videos are super polished, and they have such a good balance. Now this is why you're on here, because when I admire people, it's like people that are doing things at such a high level. And because sometimes too polished doesn't look good, right? And sometimes you don't want to be like just handy cam either. So talk to me about, as you have kind of grown into the product that you have now on your social media, what is your technological, your team, your videographer, like did it just start on your iPhone and then now you have an editor full time? Like, what does that back end look like for all the realtors in the room?
Yeah, I think this is another important point to touch on. So you actually hit it right on the head. Polished content does not perform as well as like on the fly, your phone type of content does. That one performs really well on social. However, my belief is that you do need to have that balance of polished content so that you can showcase your work and show people this is what you can do. And that level of content polished, having a videographer film it, having them edit, having them fill it on a really nice camera and really nice lens. That was important for my image, because I wanted to break into a certain price point. I wanted to attract a certain type of client. I wanted to attract certain type of coaching clients. That's what I wanted to do. So I had to put certain things out. So this is what it looked like in the very beginning when I first got started. When I first got started, I would actually have to pay videographers about $200 back then per video. But I was able to get them to come down even a little lower in price, because I would say, hey, look, and this is why it's so important for all of you to have a big social media following. It's not for like oh, I'm cool and all that stuff, but it's for the opportunities that it opens up. If you can grow your audience on social media, you can leverage that audience to do things like sitting with Miss Vanessa over here, who lives in Alaska, and she runs an international team. Like, you are such a badass, by the way. I have to give you props. The fact that I'm even on this live with you is so amazing, because you're such a badass. But it only happened because of social media. We connected on Clubhouse. You're like, oh, who's this guy? I'm like, oh, who's this girl? So I followed you on Instagram. Then you saw my profile, you followed me back, and we started having a conversation. But you only did that because the content was great. The audience was there. So it's important for all you to build it, right? And I'm going to go down a rabbit hole, and I promise I'll try to get back out of it once I go in it. But having an audience on social media is like having a farm in real estate in a certain area. You know, if you want to have business, the bigger the farm, the more business you'll have. The larger the audience, the more business you'll have, the more opportunity you'll have. So my team, I train them every single morning and every afternoon. We spend 1 hour intentionally on social media where we're adding people. We're just adding and following on Instagram and Facebook. So we're intentional about who we're following. So here's some ideas that we do that you guys can take home. So if you want to build your farm in a traditional real estate business, you go knock on doors, you send flyers, you show up often so they know who you are. And if you want to build a farm on social media, you get intentional about who you want to build. So we actually add business owners, influencers, photographers, wedding planners, these people who are promoting themselves, and they're also tagging their clients. And we do that in our area. So one type of person we love to go after are the wedding photographers in locally in our area, because they're the ones who are tagging their clients who just got married. And most of the time those clients are tagging are also in our area. So we go follow those people as well. And now this is where it's important to have a balanced life on social media. It cannot just be all real estate related. Man, Vanessa, I go on sometimes on people's pages and all I see is like house.
People don't want to see that.
They don't want to see that crap, you know, like they balance it out. Show me your family, have fun, show me some bloopers, like, and then
you need to like you and trust you, right?
Right. You need to like you and trust you. I didn't go on to Instagram or Facebook to be sold. I went on there to be entertained. And then if I get to know you because of the content you post, and then I get to like you or find out that you're like me because of video, and then you start to post your clients' wins and victories in your listings. Now I trust you. I trust you because you're a professional. I know that you're like me, meaning we're similar because I've heard your voice. I've watched your body. I've seen your videos. I know you're like me. So people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And then I know you now. Like now I have this law of familiarity that sets in, and we've never had to do, I've never had to hard close you. And now the beautiful part of having balanced content where it's not all super polished, but you have some high end and some low end quality. You have a variety of content. You're posting your family, you're posting your lifestyle, you're posting your clients and your listings. You're on your stories every single day, showing your voice and letting people hear your voice, showing your face and hearing your voice. Now these people get to know you just like they would when you were door knocking. You knock on their door. When you knock on someone's door, it's very similar to you adding someone on Facebook or following them on Instagram, because you're basically just saying, hi, I'm here, right? And then when they open the door, it's like when they accept your follow on Instagram, they accept your friendship on Facebook. But like now they open the door, now you're there, you're face to face. And the conversation at the door is very similar to you having a conversation in their direct message in their inbox, or commenting on their posts and engaging in conversation with them. The difference is when you're out there in person, yeah, it's a hard close. You're really trying to go for the sale, get the listing there.
And for the record, I always like to comment first a couple of times, and I get their reciprocity before I DM them. Because when somebody starts DMing me after I've added them, block, like I do not like that. So I'm like, either you're a scammer or you're weird or you're just a hard closer, and I'm not a fast girl.
I'm the same way. I feel the exact same when someone slides in my DM and I haven't even built a relationship with you. I'm like, bro, like you're trying to sell me something. You're trying to close me.
So we're talking about social media etiquette here. Yes.
I'm like, you need to back up, dude. Like get out of my DM.
I'm like, don't be so fast with me. I don't even know if I like you yet. I just barely said hi.
Honestly, I really hate having messages in my inbox that are unread. It drives me crazy. So I actually read all of them. I open all of them. So I have at the end of every day, I'll try my best to have like 0. And I'm talking like dozens and sometimes even hundreds, where like if I let it build up like
500. What are you talking about? How do you do that? Oh my God.
I sit there and I watch like Selling Sunset for like hours, and I'm like scrolling and I'm like replying to everyone on my couch. Like my wife will
have a
tell
lot
me.
of leverage in your life because I don't even have that much time to sit there.
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, that's the beauty of having
comment. Like it's like comment, like, and get them. And once people respond back, even with just hearting my comment, I always try, if I have to DM them, I find a reason to DM them, or I like, or commenting on their story is always a good way to get into their DM first. Yes.
That's it. Yeah, I love the strategy. I tell my team the same thing. I'm like, when you follow them, genuinely find some photos that you do like the photo, and then find a photo or a video and genuinely comment on it. Don't just throw like, that's cool, or a fire emoji. Do something that causes them to engage and look at who you are.
And one last thing that I want to say to where you're at in this like process about the psychology of social media is, you have to be the same person that you are. You can't like be an act, because I had the privilege of meeting Gabe by accident in Cabo, and it was amazing because I saw he was there and I was like, I'm here. And but I kid you not, the instant moment that I met Gabe, it was like, I have seen him, I know him before. I gave him a huge hug, and it was just like, I've known him forever. And because he was the same person on social media that he was in person, he felt like the same person. So if you're a energetic and an emotional person, or if you're a super logical person, don't try to portray somebody else on social media, because when they meet you in person, it's going to feel like a train wreck. Like, you're not the person I thought you were, and now this is awkward. Hi, I don't know if I like you again. People can feel it. And so when I met Gabe for the first time, it was like instant. It was literally like I had met him in person 100 times before that.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the same person online as he is in person.
So it's important. So when I tell, so the types of content is also important that you're posting. And for myself and our organization, we found out that so we have 4 different types of content that we post and that we're intentional about. And here they are. So the first thing that I tell the team to post is, if you're just starting off in the business, or if you're starting off online and you're really wanting to make a presence, educational based content is the best kind of content that you can put out there that'll really separate you from everyone. There's an acronym that I use with my team. It's called ACE. I'm like, hey, you want to be the ace in this space. You want to be the authority, you want to be the celebrity, and you want to be the expert. And the way that we create you to do that on social media is by putting out educational based content. I don't care how funny you are. I don't care how cool your reels look. I don't care that you can do voiceovers and all that stuff. That's all cute. But at the end of the day, people want to work with a professional, regardless of age, because they're trusting you with this large investment. And if your goal is to increase in purchase price, the higher you go up, the higher the expectation. The client who has the $1 million, $2 million, $5+ million listing, they have a team of professionals. They're a professional. They're disciplined. They knew how to earn money, reinvest it. And so do you think that they want to do business with some kid that's doing a bunch of jingles online all day and doesn't portray himself? Well, if you have your profile versus my profile, that's all they're looking at. They're not looking at anything else. And your profile looks like that, it's going to be very difficult for them to say, yeah, because they're running a high level life and a high level business, high level family. Think about us as professionals. We eat well, we sleep well, we work out. And Vanessa, I'm sure you can attest to all this. Like, we're very disciplined in nature. Now, how disciplined is an athlete? How disciplined is a celebrity? How disciplined is a multi-millionaire? They're on a whole, that's how they got there to begin with, is because they're that way. So on social media, people want to see someone, if you really want to blast into the space, educational based content. You are the licensed professional. You have the right to talk about these things. And your audience only knows if you know your stuff or not when you tell them. If you let them know, hey, I suck and I don't know anything and I'm brand new, then that's how they're going to find out. But if they don't know that and you have your license, you've automatically earned the respect in their head to be a professional. Now it's like school, back in high school or back in middle school or even elementary school. It's just like in school. Now that you got your license, you've started off with an A in the semester. But it's up to you to maintain that A. And that's the hardest part in school, is maintaining the A throughout. You have to, and in social media, once you get your license, you've already been given the A in the eyes of the audience. Now it's up to you to maintain that A. And it all depends on what you post on social media. The dumber the shit, the less value you provide, well, that A goes from a B to a C to a D, and then no one's going to end up sending you a message. Maintain the A by becoming ace in your space, which is putting out educational based content's the first pillar. That's why it's so important. The second piece of content that I tell everyone to post is your proof of concept. Show people that you're winning. It's awesome that you are educating. It's awesome that you're educating people, but if you're constantly educating someone, but you're never showing that you're winning, you're never showing your listings, you're never showing your client testimonials or people standing in front of photos, they're never going to know you're winning. And winners want to work with winners. I don't want to. And we've all heard it from Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry, you know, if we have to get a surgery or some sort of surgery, the last thing that I want to do is I don't want to go to the doctor who's performing the surgery once every 6 months or once every quarter. Although he may be good at it, he's out of rhythm. I want the surgeon who's doing it once a week, who's constantly up to date with the newest technology, the newest procedures. His hand, he has a still hand because he has the highest likeliness of having a really successful surgery. So they want to see that you're constantly winning. Well, has she been in this space for a while? Has she done this kind of home? And now they're questioning because your profile, your resume, it doesn't show that. So you have to show proof of concept, promote your listings. And if you're a newer agent and you work with a team or you work with a big brokerage, use theirs, show them. And the language that you want to use when you're promoting it is, we just sold another listing. We just got another buyer. It's not he, not I. It's like, oh, congratulations to my partner, courtesy of this. No, of course, give the agent the credit at the very bottom, like they deserve it, but it's we. That's the benefit of working with a big team or a big brokerage. You can leverage those listings and those sales, and your audience isn't going to know the difference. They're not going to know that was John Smith's closing over there 2 weeks ago. They're not following that. They're not paying attention. They have jobs, they have kids, they have drama, they have problems. They're too focused on everything else to try to carry like, oh my gosh, did Gabe just post Vanessa's closing right over there? Is he a fraud? Let's go. No, they don't. All they're going to see is that Gabe is winning and that Gabe is educational. So now he's a celebrity and he's an authority in the space. That's the second piece of content, which would be the proof of concept. Show your wins, document your testimonials. And the third thing I tell our clients is behind the scenes. This is where the entertainment factor comes into play. All of us love reality-based television shows, right? We like Selling Sunset. We like watching behind the scenes. What are they doing? I was talking to one of my agents the other day, and she said she binged watched on TikTok for like an hour this guy's channel, and all he does is he takes horses and he picks up their feet and he cleans their hooves, whatever they're called, and he takes all the dirt out and he replaces the foot, puts a new one back on it. And she says she watched it for like an hour. She's like, Gabe, it was so satisfying. I had no idea how they did it. So that means like people are wanting to watch like what we do behind the scenes. So your little circle on Instagram should always be purple. You should always have a story going, something throughout the day. Yes, in your mind, it might be boring. In your mind, it may seem dumb. And in your mind, you may think to yourself, well, no one's going to want to watch this. That's your mind, but you completely forgot that social media was meant for entertainment. That's why we go on there, is to be entertained. So bring people into your life, show them behind the scenes and things that you're doing. When you're at a home inspection, take your camera.
For the record, I love that you're saying that, and people want to feel good. So like sometimes when I'm going through things, I don't always post what I'm doing in real time. And that actually is something that I have from my military, because we had a lot of OPSEC, and as an intelligence officer, you know, we were very, very much trained never to like show where we're going. Like you can show where you've been, you don't show where you're going. And so there's certain elements of my social media that I will like lead people into my future, but there's certain elements of my social media, especially regarding my personal and family life, that I only share after the fact. And if I am sharing something that's heavy, it's because it's turned around and it's a win, right? So if there is overcoming, or if there is something that will inspire somebody else, because sometimes when people are like, oh, you only see the highlight reels, and it's like, you know, if people are putting their time and attention to watch our social media, the last thing I want to make you feel is sad. Right. But you do want to connect with people's emotions. And so when you are able to tell about something that you've been through that's hard, and you want to share your hard stuff because people relate to your hard stuff. How many people have seen that you're like, there's this one complainer on Facebook, but they get like a bunch of engagement. And I'm like, why is there so many negative people on this? Like there's like 70 comments on this, like really negative, like, you know, like gossipy posts. People jump on that stuff all the time. And so you get to decide whether you're going to be a voice of light or, you know, a voice of darkness. But when you do share the heavy things, you know, you just want to share them with intention that they deliver a message. But yeah, no, I love that just the way that you entertain people on social media. It's so, you have to be really intentional about it. And I don't think like, I think the successful people are like that organically. Would you say that?
Yeah.
That you kind of have this sense about you?
That's it. That's exactly what it is. You'll nail it 100%. That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's
And
important. That's why it's important to get on the camera and just show who you are as a person. And, it's real estate's a relationship based business. So a lot of us were establishing these big relationships with our clients over time. We get to know their children, we get to know their story, we get to know their breakups, we get to know their heartaches. And all you're doing is you're doing the same thing, but you're just doing it on Instagram or Facebook, but you're doing it to a larger audience. And now you're allowing the audience to self-enroll with who they want to do business with, which makes doing business so much fun. All of my clients are super freaking amazing. And yes, occasionally you get the ones who are really hard to work with, but that's okay because it just forces you to level up as a professional. But when you show your face, when you're relatable and you're talking about the hard times that you had, and you're not trying to make people feel sad, right? You want to have like a inspiring, motivating, message for them at the very end of whatever message you're talking about. But you do want to be real at the same time, because I've shared when I've lost my dog and I felt sad, and I've talked about like breakups and losings and losses and things like that, how it's affected me live on Facebook and Instagram. And people really connect with that kind of stuff. And they're like, man, this guy's honest, he's authentic, he's like me, and he's a professional. He's teaching me, constantly adding value. You know what? I want to send him a message because that's someone that I want to work with. And that's the beautiful part about getting on camera, is you can be you, and you can market this video to thousands of people who are out there, and you get to let them choose, who they want to do business with at that point. And there's enough business to go around. And if you break it down side by side, if you're a traditional marketer where you're sending postcards and you're door knocking and you're putting up for sale signs, or those signs to call me throughout the county, if you're doing that, there's only so many doors you can knock on within an hour. It's going to take you 3-4 minutes per door, and then within a few minutes, within 20 minutes, maybe 5 doors have been knocked on. But within 1 minute in one post, I can reach thousands of people with the same message that you have. The only difference is, it's less effort, and it's free in the sense that I don't have to pay for it. And that's the beauty of social media. And you want to be intentional with the type of content. This is why it's important to do behind the scenes. This is why it's important to do the educational stuff. And it's also important to do the proof of concept. And the last one is lifestyle. Lifestyle is the last one. Show people who you are. So the behind the scenes stuff, we're doing home inspections, we're doing listing appointments. I'll bring a camera crew with me when I'm going to.
So now I love that you just said that, because now that's the Gabe now. Now that's the Gabe now that has a camera crew with you. Do you have a camera crew with you all the time? Or are they full time, or do you pay them? Like, what does that look like in your life?
Yeah, it's a really good question.
And then and go down this track.
Yeah. So when it comes to the camera crew, all of you, you can, back then it was like 200 per video. I believe now like the average is like 350 to 450 per video, like on a basic 1 minute video. And it depends on the videographer that you talk to. You can do like a one video kind of thing with these people, or you can put them on retainer. I have one team on retainer with me, and it's 12 videos per month. And it's up to 1 to 3 minutes in length in the video. Unlimited edits. So when you're talking to these camera crews, you're looking at these things. You're looking at how long is the video going to be? Are you going to add music? Are you going to write captions and text on the video while it's playing? You also want to ask about the type of quality of the video. So this is important. I've seen a lot of real estate agents out there who don't know anything about marketing, and they have a camera crew who doesn't know anything about marketing either. When you're asking them to film you, make sure they're filming in 4K, and make sure they're filming in either like 60 frames per second, 30 frames per second, 24 frames per second, which is what I do on my cell phone. But this way they can do slow motion shots. They can slow it down. It doesn't look choppy. But you also don't want it looking too fine, because then it looks unnatural to the eye. And it looks like something that I can't register, because remember, your eyes, they only see at approximately 24 frames per second. So if you go on your cell phone, you can adjust the setting on your phone to 24 frames per second, and you'll see how natural that feels versus a 60 frames per second. So make sure your camera crew, you're talking about that. It's cheaper to go the retainer route. So for me, it's 12 videos a month, and I have them on retainer per month. I pay them. But also with my company, Century 21, they have an in-house professional studio. It's called Studio A. And I've negotiated my agreement to have marketing concessions with me. So pretty much every single major event now that I do, every speaking event, every listing, every consultation, there's always a camera crew with me. I have a camera crew once I'm done here. I'm doing a speaking event here in LA. I'm in LA right now, but they're going to be meeting me once I walk out this hotel room, filming the whole process, because I'm trying to bring my consumer in. Now, when you're filming those types of content, so this is for everyone who's out there, if you're filming like those 3 minutes, 2 minutes, make sure you set the proper expectations with your camera crew. Let them know, hey, I want you to pull out some of those 5 to 15 second Gary Vee moments where it's a vertical film. You have me talking about one certain point on something, and then you put a bunch of cool music and a bunch of B-roll and extra video, make it look cool. But I'm talking about one thing. And a lot of us have those conversations. Maybe you're at a home inspection and you bring your camera crew with you, and they're filming you advising your client. They're filming you having a conversation.
You created your own TV show, and now you're using lingo that is like, when you talk B-roll, I know what that is. I've been on television and stuff, but a lot of people that are realtors, they may not even have this video lingo that's even natural to them, right? So now you're creating, and that's what you've done. I kid you not, this is a surprise, but I sent your information to Dorsey Television. I sent your profile to Dorsey Television because they were my producers on Living Alaska. And I was like, you need to check this family out. But because you've created your own TV show with your own audience, with your own social media platform. And it feels that way. It feels like I'm watching a TV show.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. So to sum it up, it's creating your own show and you bring these people with you. So get ready to invest into your business the way that you would invest in postcards and everything else. Get ready to invest in your business, right? And that includes those video concessions and making sure you put those out. So lifestyle is the last pillar of content that you want to be posting. And that's just the natural stuff. Like I posted a photo, I think it was yesterday, of my son and I. There's some photos.
That one was so amazing. But see, that's how you get people emotionally to like love you, because I was like, oh.
Yeah. And it's genuinely how I feel, right? I love my son. I love him. You and I have had private conversations about our children, and I love my son. I love my daughter. And that's if I post these things. I love my wife. This is why I post her. And those are the kind of things that's the lifestyle content. Show them, right? We're in a real estate business. So, I had another one where I was at lunch and dinner with all my team, and we were hanging out. So we took a picture outside of the restaurant and I posted it up, and I put a bunch of silly photos of us at Starbucks having a good time. Now people had an opportunity to now see who I really was, this lifestyle kind of guy. There's photos and videos of me on my Instagram where I'm just hanging out at home in some shorts. My hair isn't done. I'm not in a suit. If you scroll, you'll see that stuff. There's videos, there's reels where my wife and I were just doing silly, dumb stuff. So we're lifestyling with all. You have to be
willing to be silly. That's the thing though. Also, you have to be willing to be silly, and not everyone is willing to like let their hair down and show that side of them. And I think those are things that you do, Gabe, that make you great, that you don't realize you're doing, that normal people are not comfortable with.
Yeah, really, that's exactly what it is. But it's like anything. When you start door knocking, it's not comfortable at first. When you start calling, it's not comfortable at first. When you have your first buyer consultation, first listing presentation, it's not comfortable at first. It's like anything else. It's literally no different. You guys have heard everyone talk about that. So just get on there and practice it.
And Gabe, I know we have a few minutes left. So you've gone from, your engagement video all the way to basically creating like a TV show and your followers. Tell me how you went from and I actually had to restart my Instagram. So that's why there's no real estate on Instagram, because the last like 7 months, my Instagram is only 7 months old because it got scammed and like taken down. So talk to me about how you grew to 140,000 people on Instagram.
Yeah. So there's a couple of different strategies. The biggest one that I did was I got involved in some giveaways online. So there are, and this is like a secret. There's like, it's a paid thing, right? But this is like a secret thing that no one really talks about. I don't really know why, but I think it's okay. So I naturally grew my audience by itself just by creating dope ass content that people wanted to share. I was doing a lot of bloopers early on. I did a lot of educational based content. I was following people. They were following me back because they're like, oh, this guy's a normal guy, but he's also different. So I want to follow him. I did that up until about like the $20,000 to $30,000 follower range. That's when I did that. So up to like 30, which took a shitload of time. It took me
a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
I hit 5,000. I was like, okay, I need a break.
So yeah, it's a lot of work when you're building your social media presence, because you're adding, you're following, you're commenting, you're liking, you're creating content that can be shared across platforms, and you're building this audience. So just to get to 10K, I think it took me 8 years to get to 10K. And then after that, it kind of snowballed into like 10, 15, 20, 30,000. So when I got to about the
You
30,000,
establish a level of rapport on Instagram.
yeah. So, and then you get into different audiences. So I talk, my followers range from like single people to single mothers to young entrepreneurs to real estate agents, because I'm constantly putting out content for all those different types of people. So about 30,000, it got a little hard, but then a buddy of mine, he introduced me to this thing called like giveaways. So I don't, Vanessa, have you ever seen like a celebrity where they give away, like, I don't know, like the Kardashians, right? They're constantly giving away like Louis Vuitton
And they make
bags.
you follow certain people.
Make you follow certain people. So this is a nice little hack for all of you who are interested, like want to know how people grow their following. Whenever a celebrity does a giveaway, you have an opportunity to actually pay the celebrity's marketing agency to have your name become one of the names that have to be followed in order for the consumers to enter the giveaway. So it's a long answer. So let me just kind of break it down how it works. You have a Kim Kardashian, she's giving away Louis Vuitton bags and things like that. And she tells her followers, if you want to be entered in the raffle, you have to do three things. Number one, you have to tag 3 people on my post. Number 2, you have to follow everyone that this page is following. And the third thing I think is you have to like share the story or whatever, share and save this, the post. So, which is genius on her part. And I'll break that down in a second why that's genius. And all of you guys should be doing that too. But to finish the point, the people, step number 2, go follow everyone the page is following. There's typically about 50 to 100 people that you have to go follow. So her hundreds of millions of people rush over to this page to follow 100 people. And these are real followers. These are people that she, because of her celebrity status,
because they have to mechanically go do this, right?
Yeah, exactly. These are real people. And then they go to the 100 people and they start following everyone. The goal is to get you to be one of those 100 that people follow. And that's how you end up growing your following. So that was the biggest thing for me. I actually got enrolled with the Khloe Kardashian one. And that one really took off. That one was a huge, I think it was like 80, 90,000 followers ended up joining. You end up losing like a third of them. But because my content was really good, I ended up keeping a lot of them. So then you have people in the United States, then you have people in North America, South America, different continents. And all across the world, you have to be able to retain them. This is why those 4 pillars of content that I talked about are so important, because if all you have is just a bunch of real estate, unfollow. If all you have is you doing some silly, stupid shit, unfollow. If all you have is, like, be versatile, show them the professional, show them the behind the scenes, show them the lifestyle, and show them the education. Be the ace in your space. And that's how I ended up retaining a lot of these people. And then those people that I got, they started sharing my stuff. They started liking it, and it just started to grow after that. So I probably now on average, I gain about 25 followers to 50 followers per day just by people sharing and liking my stuff. And it's important to get involved with that. Now the last thing I want to touch on is this, and then we're getting short on time, is the giveaways. So I love that they do that. I think that's genius on their part, because now they have and this is good for us real estate agents to do this too. Give something away and have your audience tag 3 people in the comment section. So let's say you're going to give away a $500 whatever, or a Roku TV. It's like 65,
How did I think of this?
Bro, you should be on this fast. Be on it fast. Be like, so yes, go on it fast. But it's what, $300 investment, $400 investment. You go on Facebook and Instagram, like, hey guys, we're having a raffle. We're giving away this 65-inch television for free. This is all you have to do. Tag 3 people in the comment section. And every 3 people you tag, you will receive an extra entry into the raffle. Now you have all of your family, all of your friends, all of your following, tagging all of their friends, all their family, all their friends. And then they see that, then they see the post like, oh shit, there's a 65-inch television. I want to enroll too. And then you start getting hundreds of people tagging them on your post. And then the second step, have them save your post and share it onto their story, and they have to tag you. And then now Instagram and Facebook are like, wow, this post is being saved a lot. Like, let's expose it to more and more people. And then you get put on the Explorer page, and then you end up blowing up. And then within 3 or 4 days, and then the third step is they have to follow you. They have to follow your page. And then after that, the raffle ends. And then you tell them, hey, we're going to be doing the raffle when it ends within 24 hours. We're going to go back and verify that you guys all.
That's a lot of work, by the way. You have to have somebody ready to do this.
Right. You have to have someone ready to do it. But if you're not super busy and you're trying to drum up some business, you better be in there talking to people, creating these conversations with them, like, hey, what's up? Thanks for entering the raffle. Who told you about it? You're having conversations. Dude, that's our business, conversations. Make contacts, write contracts, make contacts, write contract, making contacts in your DMs. So you're talking to people and then you start having conversations, you verify all the stuff. And then afterwards you shout them out in the winter. You might lose some, but if your content is dope, like you have versatile content and people like you, you're constantly showing your face in your video, you're entertaining, then they're going to
You only want the people that like you anyway, because those are the ones that are really going to do business with you.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. I'm so glad you shared that because, and by the way, if we want people, we can highlight our vendors. Like all of our people are vendors and their pages. And so when you're highlighting people that are in your sphere, even if they're not paying you, but you're highlighting people in your sphere, guess what? Those return reciprocity, you know, is actually
a good idea. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a raffle where I'm showing off my vendors, like my handyman, my AC guys, maybe
all the businesses in your world.
Yeah. All the businesses in my world. And that's an awesome way to do it, because if I can take my audience and then say, hey, go follow to get this, whatever I'm giving away, go follow my 10, 15 vendors that I have, their business pages start to grow. They get exposure, they get happy. And then
it's back to you.
Law of reciprocity. Yeah. The more you give, the more you get. You got to be the biggest giver.
Yes. The biggest giver, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I could probably talk to you forever. I know we never have time. We're always like, I gotta go. You're going here. I'm like, Yeah. But I'm going to be in San Diego soon. So I need to see you and the family. I'm going to make you guys make time for me.
Yeah. Come on up. Let us know. I know you're in and you're out quickly. We'll make it happen. We'll connect. And I really want to thank you, Vanessa, for the opportunity to be here and just to share and impart some wisdom with everyone. And I know Tristan's not on here, but a big shout out to Tristan for allowing us to connect. Good talking to you today, man. And Jake, hey bro, appreciate you setting everything up today. Is there anything else that I can touch on? Any other questions I could answer?
Well, I just want everybody to, there's so much to learn from Gabe. So you guys, if you don't already follow Gabe, definitely look him up on social. And he also has YouTube, Instagram, I love that he calls his whole team the squad. And they're an all girls team. He's the only guy. It's such a cool vibe. You guys have to check him out. He loves empowering the ladies on his team. Beautiful people, such a beautiful family. Honestly, I think in all the people that I've met in this industry in the last 10 years, I haven't met a family that's quite like you guys. So definitely excited to watch you grow and see you just take on more of the market and just because you're such a giver. And I love that about you, Gabe. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Awesome. Well, all right. Guess that's it. Let me take a photo of us so I can post it on social media.
Yes.
Not good what I preach over here. Hold on. All right. What's up, Devon? Good to see you, man. All right, ready? One. I'm gonna do boomerang. Ready? 1,
okay.
2, 3. Got it. Tag you.
All right. Thanks, guys, for being on here. Gabe, you're amazing. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for sharing all of your wisdom and insights, and follow Gabe. Watch where he's going next, because he's starting to get way more into education, coaching, and training. So I'm sure he'll have much more wisdom to drop on you. And I appreciate you again.
Appreciate you too. All right, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.